Have you ever walked into your home and caught a faint urine smell you can't explain? It's something many people avoid talking about, but the truth is that lingering urine-like odor that sometimes clings to a space isn't just part of getting old. There are actual fixable reasons behind it, most of which have nothing to do with poor hygiene or laziness. In fact, many older adults keep their homes clean and tidy. But as we age, subtle changes in our bodies, habits, and environments can lead to smells that are harder to notice and even harder to eliminate. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 unexpected reasons why so many older people's homes start to smell like urine, even when everything seems clean. You might be surprised how small things like fabric, airflow, or even what you use to freshen up could be quietly making it worse. Stay with me through the end, because once you understand these hidden causes, you'll know exactly what to do to take back control of your space without shame, without confusion, and without any of those overpriced sprays that don't really fix the problem. And if you haven't already subscribed, I recommend you do that now and turn on the bell so you never miss a video that helps you live with more comfort, clarity, and confidence. Let's begin. Number 1, unnoticed urinary leakage in clothing or furniture. One of the most common and least talked about reasons older homes carry a faint smell of urine is something many people are quietly dealing with. Light, frequent leakage that gets absorbed into clothes, chairs, or bedding without anyone realizing it. It doesn't always come from major accidents. In fact, most of the time, it's just a small trickle, maybe a little dampness after sneezing, a bit of moisture left after using the bathroom. Over time, these small drops build up, especially on fabric surfaces like upholstered chairs, recliners, or even bedspreads where someone spends a lot of time sitting or resting. And here's where it gets tricky. As we age, our sense of smell starts to dull. What others might notice right away, we may no longer pick up on. So you might not even realize the scent is there until someone else mentions it, or you return home after being away for a while and notice it yourself. Let me tell you about a man named Harold, 84, who lived alone in a quiet neighborhood. He took pride in keeping a neat home. He vacuumed, dusted, even used air fresheners. But during his daughter's visit, she noticed a faint odor in the living room. They couldn't figure out where it was coming from until she realized the smell was strongest on his favorite recliner. Over the years, small amounts of leakage had soaked into the fabric. The chair looked fine. It wasn't stained or visibly dirty, but the odor had settled deep into the cushion. Once they cleaned it professionally and added a washable chair cover, the smell disappeared. And more importantly, Harold didn't feel embarrassed. He felt relieved. He finally understood it wasn't about being dirty. It was about the materials in the home quietly holding on to things he couldn't see or smell. Many older adults wear protective pads or liners, but they may not always catch everything. Sometimes clothing gets slightly damp and dries too slowly. Sometimes the absorbent product shifts or isn't changed right away. These things happen, and they're more common than most people admit. If you've noticed a lingering odor in your own home or a loved one's, check the places where people sit for long periods. Run your hand along the cushions, smell closely, and if there's any question at all, throw the cover in the wash or use an enzymatic cleaner designed for breaking down organic odors, not just covering them up. This isn't about being spotless. It's about recognizing that our bodies change, our senses fade, and our homes sometimes carry the quiet evidence of it. And once we understand that, we can do something about it without shame and with total confidence. Number 2, improper cleaning of bathroom areas. Even when the toilet looks clean at first glance, there are often small areas around the bathroom that quietly collect urine over time. And the older we get, the easier it is to miss them. This isn't about being careless. It's about the reality of aging. Maybe you can't bend or twist like you used to. Maybe your vision isn't as sharp, or your balance feels just a little unsteady when you're trying to clean around the base of the toilet or reach behind it. These little limitations add up, and they create perfect conditions for odors to linger. Urine has a way of splashing or dribbling onto hard-to-reach places along the edge of the seat, under the rim, behind the toilet base, or in the tiny gaps where the floor meets the wall. If it's not cleaned thoroughly and often, especially with a product that breaks down the urine compounds, not just masks the smell, it builds up. And the problem gets worse when moisture lingers. If your bathroom tends to stay humid, or if it isn't ventilated well, that warmth gives the odor a chance to rise and spread beyond just the bathroom itself. It can drift into nearby bedrooms or hallways without you even realizing it. Let me share the story of Lorraine, 78, who always kept her bathroom looking tidy. She wiped down the sink, scrubbed the toilet bowl, and even used scented sprays. But there was always a faint smell she couldn't quite get rid of. When her niece came to visit, she helped move the trash can beside the toilet, and that's when they found it, a dark ring where the toilet met the floor. Over the years, small splashes had made their way under the base and dried there, unnoticed and untreated. They brought in a small handheld steamer, used an enzyme-based cleaner, and began wiping the toilet seat, base, and surrounding floor daily. Within days, the smell disappeared. Lorraine felt proud again. Not because she was embarrassed before, but because she finally had the tools to fix something that had bothered her for years. The key isn't scrubbing harder, it's knowing where to look and what to use. Regular bathroom cleaners may smell strong, but many of them don't actually break down the uric acid that causes odor. Enzymatic cleaners are designed for that specific purpose. They eat away at the compounds, causing the smell rather than covering them up. It also helps to use a bright flashlight now and then to check behind the toilet or in dim corners. If you can't get down there easily yourself, ask a family member or helper to do a quick check every so often. You might be surprised what's hiding just out of sight. Keeping a bathroom truly clean after 70 isn't just about effort, it's about strategy. And when you take control of the areas that matter most, your whole home feels fresher, more comfortable, and more dignified. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, soiled bedding or mattresses not washed frequently enough. Sometimes the most persistent odors don't come from what you can see. They come from what's soaked in and hidden beneath the surface. And one of the most overlooked places this happens is in the bedroom. As we get older, nighttime becomes one of the most vulnerable times for accidents. Bladder control is naturally weaker during sleep, and many older adults experience small leaks without waking up. Over time, this moisture can seep into the sheets, blankets, and even the mattress itself, especially if protective covers aren't being used consistently. At first, the bedding may seem clean, it may not look stained, but even slight dampness left, untreated, and allowed to dry naturally leaves behind uric acid crystals. And those crystals are what release odor every time the bedding is warmed by body heat or the room temperature rises. There was a woman named Edna, 80 years old, who kept her bed neatly made every single morning. She had a gentle routine, freshening the room with a spritz of lavender spray, fluffing her pillows, laying out a clean blanket. But over time, her daughter noticed the room smelled slightly sour, almost like urine, even though everything appeared spotless. After some gentle conversation, they lifted the top mattress pad and found the cause beneath the surface. There were light yellow rings where past leaks had dried. The bedding was being washed regularly, but the underlying mattress had quietly absorbed more than anyone realized. They invested in a waterproof mattress protector, washed the bedding with a white vinegar and baking soda mix, and even left the mattress out in the sun for a few hours. It took time, but the smell lifted. Edna didn't feel ashamed. She felt empowered. She understood that the odor hadn't been her fault. It had simply gone unnoticed too long. Mattress odors are especially tricky because they get trapped deep in the foam or fiber and release slowly over time. And since you're in bed for hours each night, the scent builds with body heat and moisture. One way to prevent this is to use a zippered waterproof cover, not just a thin sheet-like pad, but a full encasement that keeps moisture from reaching the mattress at all. Washable absorbent pads can also be layered on top for added security. Even if you haven't had any accidents, it's smart to air out your mattress a few times a year. Strip everything off and open the windows. Let it breathe. Sprinkle a bit of baking soda and vacuum it up. These small habits make a big difference, especially when your sense of smell may not catch the early signs of odor buildup. And if you live alone, it helps to have someone you trust give your room a smell check from time to time. not to embarrass you, but to protect the peace, comfort, and dignity of the space where you rest. Because when your bedroom feels clean, smells fresh, and helps you sleep better, it improves not just your home, but your heart, your mood, and your confidence too. Number 4, worn carpets and rugs holding past accidents. Carpets may seem soft, warm, and inviting, but they can also be one of the biggest culprits behind that faint urine smell that never seems to go away, especially in homes where accidents have happened in the past. Unlike hardwood or tile, carpet traps moisture, and once urine gets into those fibers, whether from a nighttime accident, a pet, or even shoes that stepped in something outside, it doesn't just dry and disappear. It settles deep into the padding underneath where it quietly ferments over time. And here's what surprises many people. The smell doesn't always show up right away. Sometimes it only surfaces on a humid day when the heat rises or when the room is closed off without fresh air for a while. That's why a house might seem fine in the morning, but by afternoon there's that familiar musty odor again, seeping up from the floor even when everything looks clean. Take the example of Walter, 76, who lived in the same home for over 30 years. He vacuumed regularly, kept things tidy, and always wore house slippers indoors. But his granddaughter noticed something off during a visit, especially in the hallway and near his recliner. When they pulled up a corner of the carpet, they found it old stains that had long since dried, but still held odor beneath the surface. It wasn't just from him. It had started years earlier when his late wife's small dog had frequent indoor accidents. The smell had never fully left. They replaced that section with vinyl flooring, added an area rug with a washable liner, and within weeks the whole house felt fresher. Walter said it was like his home had been holding its breath all those years and finally exhaled. The truth is, carpet padding acts like a sponge. Even if the top layer is steam cleaned, the material underneath can still hold on to scent molecules. And if your home has experienced even 1 or 2 uncleaned accidents, especially over many years, the carpet is likely the silent source of the problem. If replacing the carpet isn't an option, consider using a deep enzymatic treatment, not just a deodorizer. These are specially formulated to break down the uric acid that causes odor. It may take several treatments and a bit of drying time, but it can work wonders. Another helpful tip is to rearrange furniture occasionally. Not only does it refresh the room, it helps you discover smell pockets that might have gone unnoticed for years, like under a rarely moved table or behind a large chair. Most importantly, there's no shame in having old carpet, but it's worth remembering that materials age, just like we do, and sometimes giving your floor a fresh start is one of the best gifts you can give yourself, not just for appearances, but for your health, your breathing, and your peace of mind. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, lack of proper ventilation and airflow. Sometimes it's not what's in the home, it's what's not moving through it. One of the most overlooked reasons a home begins to carry a stale or urine-like odor is simply a lack of fresh air. As we get older, we naturally spend more time indoors. We close windows to stay warm, keep doors shut for safety, and sometimes go days without really airing out the rooms we live in most. Over time, this traps not only moisture, but also invisible particles from the body, cleaning products, cooking, and yes, urine. Without ventilation, those particles hang in the air, settle on surfaces, and eventually start to give off that familiar musty smell. It's not overpowering at first, but over time, it becomes part of the house's signature scent. The one you don't notice anymore because you live with it every day. That's what happened with Leonard, age 81, who lived in a cozy apartment with thick curtains and lots of warm blankets. He loved his peace and quiet, but over the years, the smell in his living room grew heavier. He tried new air fresheners, changed the vacuum filter, even washed his furniture covers. Nothing seemed to help. It wasn't until a visiting nurse opened all the windows one spring afternoon, just for a few hours, that something shifted. The next morning, Leonard noticed it. The air felt lighter, not just fresher, but easier to breathe. He started cracking a window for 30 minutes each day, even in winter, and that simple habit made all the difference. Older homes especially need airflow. Many were built with different insulation standards, and some have older vents or HVAC systems that don't circulate air as effectively. If you're using portable heaters, electric blankets, or heavy drapes, airflow can get blocked even more. And remember, your nose adjusts to your environment. What seems neutral to you might feel heavy or musty to a visitor. That's why bringing in new air regularly is essential, not just to feel clean, but to clear out what your senses may have tuned out. You don't need a fancy fan or expensive filter. Just open the windows even slightly every day if weather permits. Use ceiling fans to keep air moving. And if you're in a smaller space, consider a basic air purifier with a carbon filter. This small change won't erase deep-set odors, but it will help prevent new ones from settling in. And combined with good cleaning habits, it restores a sense of lightness and clarity to your home, a space that smells like life, not like age or illness. A well-ventilated home is not just about smell. It's about dignity, comfort, and the message you send to yourself every day that you deserve to live in a space that feels alive and welcoming. Number 6, use of strong air fresheners that mix with odors. One of the most surprising reasons a home might carry a persistent urine-like smell, even when you're trying to keep things clean, is the very thing you're using to cover it up: air fresheners. Scented sprays, plug-ins, and even those fancy oil diffusers are often marketed as solutions to household odors. And while they might give off a strong, pleasant scent for a little while, they don't actually remove what's causing the problem. In many cases, they just layer another chemical fragrance over the odor, creating a heavier, more complex smell that settles deep into fabrics, carpets, and curtains. The challenge with these products is that they don't break down odor at the source. They mask it. And when you combine synthetic fragrances with ammonia-based compounds in urine, even tiny amounts left behind from previous leaks, it creates a chemical reaction that can smell even stronger, and at times sour or metallic. Let's talk about Joyce, 74, who loved using lavender-scented room sprays. She sprayed her bathroom, living room, and even her sheets every day. But despite her efforts, guests often told her the house smelled funny. It wasn't bad exactly, but it wasn't fresh either. When her niece visited, they decided to stop using all artificial sprays for a few days and open the windows instead. What they noticed shocked them. Underneath the lavender, there was a clear ammonia-like odor. Coming from a small corner in the guest room rug, a spot Joyce had sprayed for years without knowing the original smell had never actually been cleaned. Once they treated the rug with an enzyme-based cleaner and swapped the plug-ins for a simple bowl of baking soda with a drop of natural oil, the entire feel of the room changed. Joyce felt more in control, more clear-headed, and guests noticed the difference right away. Over time, strong artificial scents can also dull your nose's ability to detect real odors. That means you may be walking through a room thinking it smells fresh, when in reality the base smell is still there, just hidden under a thick chemical blanket. Instead of relying on sprays or plug-ins, try neutralizing the odor completely. Use enzyme sprays designed to break down organic material. Wash fabrics with vinegar and baking soda, and when you want to add a pleasant scent, go for natural sources: sliced lemon, a drop of essential oil and water, or just fresh air from an open window. You deserve to live in a space that smells clean, not artificially perfumed or chemically confusing. And when your home smells fresh, because it is fresh, you'll feel better too, more relaxed, more confident, and more at peace in your own space. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts. Now that we've uncovered these 6 unexpected reasons why many older adults' homes start to smell like urine, take a moment to think. Did any of them sound familiar to you? It's easy to feel discouraged or embarrassed when your home doesn't smell the way you want it to. But the truth is, these issues are far more common than people realize, and most of them have simple, practical solutions. This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness. Maybe you notice that one chair that's seen a lot of use. Maybe you remember that old carpet that's been through a lot. Or maybe you've been spraying air fresheners without realizing the smell underneath was never fully gone. These realizations aren't setbacks, they're starting points. Your home is your sanctuary. It should be a place where you can breathe easy, feel proud, and welcome others with confidence. And that starts with understanding the small things that quietly affect the air around you. If you found one tip in this video that helped you, even just one, then that's a step toward a cleaner, fresher, and more comfortable home. A home that reflects not just who you were, but who you are right now. Someone who still cares deeply about your space, your dignity, and your quality of life. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.